Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Department Podcast Wrestling Recap version, where myself, Justin Valentovic, Jesse Norman, and for the first time, he's a regular on all the other podcasts, but for the first time, jumping on the Wrestling Recap bandwagon, we have Steve with us today as well. So, fellas, Money in the Bank was last night at the time we are recording this, and it was actually a really, really good pay-per-view, so I'm excited to talk about it. But before we get into all of that stuff, how you guys doing?
It was a good pay-per-view for what we were able to watch for 2/3 of the show up until the end, because Peacock is officially the worst streaming service of all time. I stand by that.
I wouldn't go by saying it's a third of the show that was gone, but
it was the most important two matches.
It was bad for you during the main event.
Well, it went here and there at times a little bit, but that might have just been my cable. But whatever. The big problem was obviously the men's Money in the Bank for about 20. It felt like forever.
It was mostly the entrances for me, and then
a lot of people had different ones. I was just entrances, but other people said they missed like almost the entirety of the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I'm with Jesse on that one. Yeah, it was about like the entrances.
Mine was the tail end of the match before it to probably 10 minutes in.
Damn, that sucks. My stream was working really well.
I wonder why.
Going really good.
I wonder why.
Peacock does not have my money, so no, I'm glad to be here. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Steve must have been really bored with anything to watch wrestling last night to be on this podcast.
I think
you
that
had
was
Yankees Red Sox last night. Come on, you watched wrestling?
No, I had wrestling on my laptop. Yankees demolishing the Red Sox on my TV. I think that was the first pay-per-view I watched since the Hardy Boys returned at whatever that was, WrestleMania. Yep.
What was that? 30,
that was the last one I watched.
That was like 3 years ago.
35? 33. Wow.
What number are we on anymore? I don't know.
We just hit 37.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Then it's definitely not 36.
No. But good. I'm glad you guys are doing well and now ready to talk some wrestling. So where does it go in the order of the card, which is with the kickoff show all the way up until the main event and what happened after the main event. So a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's get to it. We had on the pre-show the Usos winning the tag team championships from Rey and Dominic Mysterio. We all predicted this. Actually, I should go into our predictions first, but I can do that at the end of this. We all predicted this to be true, and that was kind of a bold move by all of us. And I like the move of having the bloodline with all of the gold right now.
Yeah, DUI pending. This was the right move to make. But no, Rey and Dominic, cool that they had their little run. Let's keep it at a little run. The Usos are one of the better tag teams still left in the WWE because they don't have many. So giving them the belts is the right move.
Yeah, it was going to happen eventually, just because Dominic and Rey can go do something else, and there's really no one else for them to feud with. And having everyone in the bloodline have a belt definitely helps.
Shouldn't they? They don't own all the gold though, because they don't have the IC belt.
What do you want to give Paul Heyman a belt?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you have main event Jey Uso be a double champ?
Ooh. Okay.
Just give it to Roman.
Well, you mean
Roman
has
doesn't need the internet.
Tamina has a belt, so she can count too.
She can join in. She can be the Intercontinental Champion.
There you go. Steve, do you get to watch the pre-show or no?
I did not watch this fight.
Did you know the pre-show existed?
Okay.
I did. See, I went on YouTube and it was
Justin,
there.
Jesus.
It was on YouTube, but they were just had like 7 people stuffed into a little desk. So I'm like, what am I watching?
That's most of the pre-show.
This match just hurts me because I like Rey Mysterio. That's pretty much it.
Of course,
so
the childhood favorite. Yeah, of course. The kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since when did he have a kid? Is that like his real son? Or
that's his legitimate son.
Yeah. Well, technically, it's Eddie Guerrero's son. But for storyline, for canon purposes.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys, all of our 12 viewers, can attest to this, but Steve's not. He's the outsider's perspective on
outsider.
it.
Yep.
So take what he says with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Big time.
Yeah, so I give him a bunch of credit for watching it in general and wanting to come on the podcast. So enjoy what he says. I'm sure he'll have some fun stuff to say. So enjoy that. But we get into the first match on the main card now, and honestly, in my opinion, one of the most underwhelming matches on the whole card, and that was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. A bunch of star power in there, and they decided to go with the winner of Nikki Cross, aka Nikki Almost Superhero, because she's almost.
Why don't they call her Nikki Ash? AS.
Well, they'll
That's
say
what I thought it was.
Yeah, they'll spell out the acronym and then say what the acronym is.
But then say, they just always say Nikki Almost a Superhero.
That's like calling WWE Wowee. Like,
oh, well, okay, no, because Ash is an actual like thing that people say. We is not.
We, or like AEW.
No, those are different things. If the acronym spells something out, you can say it.
I guess, but it's an interesting result to say the least. I love the finish.
She's not going to win a belt. She's either going to lose the case or lose a match.
Probably going to lose the match. I don't see her losing. I don't see them giving up the briefcase to someone else 2 years in a row like that. But I love the way the match ended. Like you don't see that often, the way the match ended, which was all of like 5 of the women, 6 of the women about scrambling for the briefcase, and then all of a sudden she just kind of hops over someone and just unclips it. Usually like everyone falls off.
That's why they needed all the ladders out there.
Of course. I know Steve said there was like too many ladders.
Setting them up.
There was it was on the side of the ring, and there was just 7 ladders sitting there, and I'm like, what is happening?
It's the aesthetic.
They had to bury Alexa Bliss with like 4 of them.
It's a ladder match.
And then
I was watching The Conjuring. I was convinced with the whole superpowers.
The fact that I thought they were going to start lowering the briefcase a little bit.
That would have been funny. That would have been actually really
great.
Good.
That would have been a better ending. If Alexa just wins in the first 2 minutes. I would have loved it.
But no, I enjoyed how it ended. The result, I have to see where it goes from here. It looks like they've been trying to push her the last month or so. New gimmick, new everything. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what they do. I'm not too confident in the result right now. And where did it go? But
that they gave her the briefcase shows that they're at least going to back this weird gimmick a little bit.
Think that?
No, I know, but at least they're giving her something to work with for it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of over having a comedy Money in the Bank person, because we had it with Otis, then Otis lost it to Miz and Morrison, who, as great as Miz and Morrison were also comedy acts.
Yeah.
Asuka won last year, but obviously immediately became champion, so that didn't count. And now you're going in with Nikki Cross, and we'll get to it later, no spoiler, but Big E wins, and as great as Big E is, that's also kind of a comedy act.
Kinda. I mean, but I'm just looking at the names that were in the match, and all of them are kind of championship.
This was
ready.
The worst option.
A lot of comedy Money in the Bank.
It was the worst option.
Yeah.
I hate to say
I would rather Tamina have it.
Woof. I don't know about that one.
Listen, Stephen Clark, he can attest to me on this one. I have been the biggest Nikki Cross supporter since day one. Stephen Clark is my witness.
He has been a big Cross fan.
I thought it was cool. One wrestler I really liked, Tamina. Am I saying the name right?
Yes.
Nobody Mina.
She was cool. She was awesome.
She's a tank, huh?
Oh, she was a hoss. But I hated how it ended. She just kind of climbed over everyone and grabbed it. I don't know.
I kind of agree. I didn't really like
it. Just
kind of
happened
that much.
Oh, you would have hated how Otis won it last year. They just dropped the case and he caught it.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was different, because usually it's always how the men's one ended with just, everybody down and one person, and then that's it. I feel like you didn't know it was going to end.
It just kind of made everybody look stupid.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't look stupid is Liv Morgan, because she was getting her face bashed in, so she couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I just feel like it was an unpredictable ending, though. You cut to that camera shot that's perfectly lined up with the briefcase, and okay, that person's win once you get to that camera shot.
My main critique of the match itself, way too much Natalya, man. Oh my God, so much Natalya.
Well, then they had the whole thing where literally her and Liv Morgan were standing in the ring holding a ladder for about 2 minutes,
waiting for 10 minutes,
waiting for someone to run into them.
Yeah, no, that wasn't good. I'm gonna say it now. Probably worst match of the night. It was. It was, and it stinks because there is a lot of good talent in there, but it just didn't, show up really, I guess, and then the result kind of killed that too. So let's just move on with the show. And Steve loved this next match right now. We had the Raw Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Omos defending successfully their championships against the Viking Raiders, and it looks like they're keeping AJ Styles in the tag division for the time being. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, who else is there for them to face? after this now? Like,
great question. Great.
I don't know. I don't know any of the tag teams.
I assume they're going to run this
Raw.
back. This is going to be a Summerslam match to some degree. I
Oh,
think.
kickoff maybe.
No, I think
if
it
this
will
is
be.
if this is it's a kickoff.
No,
I would.
It's going to be AJ and Omos versus Riddle and Orton probably.
Or they're going to do Riddle Orton breakup. Either one, but
I don't want them to break.
I don't want them to break up yet. I totally agree. I don't think that storyline is really done nearly enough to get them to break up.
Why?
That would be great.
You have a deep emotional connection to RK Bro.
Yeah, they literally Randy hasn't been his friend yet. No, any Randy being your friend storyline is always great, even though you know how it's gonna end.
You know how it ends.
You know how it ends, but Randy always still does really great in it.
Yeah. No, I think that's how it ends up with Riddle and Orton winning the titles at SummerSlam, but the Vikings just came back, and
lost. This makes them just kind of look
mid.
Yeah, like
mid.
They were supposed to be really cool coming into NXT and all this stuff, and now they lost to Omos basically.
It doesn't help that they're the Vikings and they got crushed by
Well, that's
Omos.
the thing. They're supposed to. Well, that's the thing,
man. But
they're supposed to be two big beefy boys who are supposed to run through everybody, and they lost to a bigger man, basically.
Hey, I thought food chain works.
A deep hatred for AJ Styles.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like he's had like 100 different tag team partners over the years, and I don't know. He just he always gets the storyline where his partner just wins everything for him. I thought the match was pretty good though. Two beefy boys with the Viking Raiders. I thought I was watching like Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the entranceway. Omos, his name is. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, the big dude. Yeah.
I'll watch. What is he on? Raw or SmackDown?
He's on Raw. He's on tonight on Raw.
I'll watch it tonight just to see him because he was awesome. He was quiet, but he was like a silent killer.
He is a silent killer.
That was a good match though. It was cool to watch.
It wasn't bad. That's the thing. The match wasn't bad. Result was not what we expected.
I expected it. Did I pick that or no?
No, you didn't. You picked the Vikings. You moron. This is why you're in last place.
Not what I expected then.
Yeah, you go. It was fine. It was fine. It wasn't a bad match at all, which was fine. And, we'll see where it goes from here, which probably won't. They'll forget about the tag division for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they'll pop up again. But that's what happens. And now let's get into the WWE Championship match. Bobby Lashley easily defeated Kofi Kingston, and I don't think there's too much to say about this except
my favorite thing about this was in the first minute, Clark sends in the group chat, "Oh, at least it's not going to be a squash." And I send back, "Are you sure about that?" And from that point on, Kofi never got another move in.
Not a lick of offense ever since then. Yeah, I mean, great for making Lashley looking dominant into what seems like a match going up against Goldberg at SummerSlam. Where does Kofi go from here? Probably back to the tag division. There you go. You have another tag team right there.
They should do a 4-way SummerSlam tag, Viking Raiders, New Day, AJ, Omos, and then RK Bro.
Yeah.
That would be fire. Put a ladder in there.
Ooh, a little spicy out here. But no, this is I don't have much to say. If you have any comments,
was this even a fight? I mean, it was dominated.
It was a McGregor fight. Looked like one-sided, ass kicking contest.
Yeah, I mean, no broken ankles in this one though.
No.
I thought it was a little repetitive when he did the 3 dominators at the end. Yeah. I mean, after the first one, I'm like, okay, a slow pickup. Second one, I'm like, there's no way they're going for a third, and of course he does.
You always gotta go for a third.
The crowd wanted it. The crowd asked for one more.
Lashley's cool. I remember watching him years ago, and obviously he came back, and I don't know. It's cool that he's champion, and guy's massive.
Yeah, Bellator legend. Bellator legend Bobby Lashley. Yeah. And he's continuing to reign, and I hope he continues to reign through SummerSlam because he's
going to lose to Goldberg. He's going to lose it to Goldberg.
It's bound to happen.
I would love if he made Goldberg tap.
Or just pass out.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, or pass out, either one.
I mean, Goldberg would probably be concussed by then, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, well, I want to bring up that
smash his head into the.
I want to bring up that whole tap or pass out situation a little bit later in the card.
Okay.
So we're to pause on that note right there. But no, fine match, whatever. And let's get into, honestly, one of the better matches of the night. I really enjoyed this next match a lot. And that was Charlotte Flair again, becoming Raw Women's Champion by defeating Rhea Ripley. And we got to talk about how the match started, first of all. And the Smarky fans are back. And you heard the chant saying, "We want Becky," in reference to Becky Lynch and her Instagram post saying that she's back. She's in Houston or wherever they were, Fort Worth, I forgot which one. But she's back. And obviously, Charlotte didn't like that. So she gave the crowd a little suck it chop and then flipped them all off, and it was nice.
Did anybody else's Peacock like go down for a second here when she started to, or was it just mine?
Well, they tried to like black it out, the middle finger.
Black it out, but she went around the ring. Like she wasn't dropping the middle finger.
Yeah, because Peacock, you can't be doing that on Peacock.
Are we sure that just wasn't Peacock's shitty signal crapping out?
It could have been.
Maybe that's what happened. They tried to screw it up for this one, and then they just couldn't resolve the problem, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, honestly, it could have been, but I love this match. I think the way they changed the crowd from wanting another woman there who wasn't there to getting them to like chant "This is awesome" by the end of the match, or almost by the end of the match, was a really, really well done job on both of their parts.
Yep, and it was inevitable.
Is this the SummerSlam match?
I think so. I think you add someone else to it, but I think we're going to see Rhea versus Charlotte with someone else.
Becky, probably.
It probably will be her. She's pregnant.
She's prego. She's prego right now.
So. I mean, Becky did post a photo, outside the, the arena beforehand, so everyone thought she was going to be back.
The arena?
Yeah, what?
Dickies
Arena.
Great work, pants and shirts. Becky could very well be back tonight for all we know.
Yeah, we already know one return's coming in Goldberg, but no, I would love that. Would really like even out the playing field, kind of like. Could you get like sad when Goldberg comes back, and then happy?
Could you imagine if Raw adds John Cena, Goldberg, and Becky Lynch in the span of one night?
Well, isn't Cena going to SmackDown?
Oh,
yes.
He's on Raw tonight.
But he's kicking off Raw tonight.
Yeah.
Why are you upset?
No, of course. Well, no, I'm just saying. He's gonna, or is it still the free agent rule where he go on both shows whatever he wants to do?
Well, he's John Cena. He can just do what he wants to do.
Yeah,
Plus,
exactly.
they want to get.
He can go to NXT if he wants. That's
one thing here. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Will do.
I feel like the WWE has such a hard time, and I get why. They have such a hard time letting go of past stars.
Yeah,
like,
money.
This is Charlotte Flair's like another title reign.
14.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and she debuted when we were in high school, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, after I did research on the match, like it was cool. It was like an old school kind of rivalry between her and Ripley. Ripley seemed like a really good superstar, though, in my opinion. She was the champ. She was the champ, but
Charlotte's old reliable. That's what I always say with Charlotte. Like she's always there just in case you need her for something. Rhea's young. Rhea Ripley's our age practically. She's very, very young, up and coming. She could bite the loss, but I know people always complain giving it to Charlotte. But Charlotte's kind of like in this new gimmick type thing, kind of like being
it's
like
the Roman gimmick,
basically the Roman gimmick, but Charlotte, yeah. But it kind of dragged on this feud too much to not give her the belt, and she honestly hasn't had like the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship in feels like a little while, maybe about like 2 years.
Well, that helps. That helps with the time off that she took and everything. But no, the match was good. I just wish that this had came at an earlier point, because they're like, this feud feels like it's been going on for so long, and now there's a chance that it's gonna continue. And yeah, you can add another person in,
but then it's the same. It's the same thing.
I really don't want to see Charlotte Rhea again, as great as they are together. It's like the Drew Lashley thing. Like, yeah, the Drew and Lashley matches were always pretty good, but after seeing them for like the 4th, 5th time, it's like, okay, please show me something new for at least a month.
Yeah, and I think what Justin said too, and whatever, is correct, that there will be a triple threat. And I think whoever is in that triple threat will leave with the championship, and then maybe then comes the draft finally, and you can finally switch some things up again, because things do need to be switched up a lot in all the divisions all over the place.
A little shakeup.
Oh baby, superstar shakeup. That means we'll have our draft podcast back again if they decide to run a draft.
Can I get my ass handed me in that one again?
Well, Steve, real quick. Do you know who Daniel Bryan is?
I do.
Do you know who Peyton Royce is?
Peyton Royce? No, I
you don't. Okay.
I don't think so. No.
I drafted Daniel Bryan a pick after Justin drafted Peyton Royce. That's how the draft went.
And the fact that you know one and don't know the other should show you how idiotic that was right there.
Ooh, yeah, not one of my shining moments.
No, at least you could admit it.
Ran out of picks on the big board that I didn't
Justin
make.
admitted he was wrong for once. That's nice.
Yeah, immediately after the pick.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often.
What are you talking about?
You don't admit you're wrong.
No.
All right, let's continue into the card. 2 more matches left on the slate. Probably the best 2 matches of the night. Going with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which a lot of us couldn't see due to Peacock, but Peacock's garbage. We stated that in the first couple of minutes of the show, and it is garbage. It deserves to be criticized for, but this is a great match. There were spots all over the place. Ricochet put on a show doing flips and everything, and hopefully caught the eye of someone backstage and wants to give him that.
That doesn't matter. Nope.
I hope so. Even if it's just a mid card again, running the US or IC title wherever he goes, just let him run the mid card division. Like, that'd be awesome. Kevin Owens went through hell during the match. Jesus Christ.
Poor guy.
Is he okay?
I don't know, man. I don't know. He went through the ladder. He went on the hard side of the ladder.
Side of the ladder.
Yeah, he got thrown off
his knee on the ladder early on.
He's solely in the matches to take all the big hard spots, just because I don't think anyone else wants to, and he's fat enough that he can have the padding for it.
Oh no, you're right.
He also doesn't care, I don't think either.
He did a moonsault off the rope too. Like, dude was just on one.
He tries to do what Ricochet can do, I think, at sometimes.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. John Morrison, I enjoyed. I thought he was fun
with
John
the drip stick.
Johnny Drip Drip.
Yeah, the alliance between him and Rollins was funny because they're both like, the drip god Seth Rollins and then Johnny Drip Drip. I thought it was funny. But,
what do you blow his load on with the fucking thing at the top of the ladder?
Oh, Steve loves the drip.
You gotta explain Johnny Drip Drip. Somebody's got to do it.
I mean, they have like little like water gun shooters.
Yeah, and that's what he shot in the. Was it Nakamura? He blasted him in the face with.
Yeah,
blasted Nakamura with his drip stick. All right.
Oh yeah, what's this whole thing? King Nakamura. What's this whole?
He's a king, but he didn't win King of the Ring, so he's just the king.
Didn't he beat Corbin?
He beat Corbin for the crown.
Oh my god!
I feel like Shinsuke is such a cooler name.
What?
Shinsuke is such a cooler name. Such a better name.
Yeah, I mean, on the Titantron, like the big board behind him, it still said Shinsuke, so I'm hoping they just like still call him Shinsuke and whatever. But no, yeah, he's the king. He didn't do too much. I mean, whatever. But then we have to get into the winner, and that's Big E. And Justin was the only one who predicted it right. So congratulations to that. You got a match right. Congrats.
Justin took the minus 500 money line and still didn't win.
So how are we feeling about Big E, and where do you think
it's like I said, and whatever? It's the easiest way to give him a title shot without having to be creative at all, to put him in anything at all. They can just say, all right, run out there. Here you go. Now's your chance. And you're winning it.
They've kind of really struggled, I think, with giving him like something to sink his teeth into since the New Day breakup, because like I swear every week they're like, yeah, Big E's not New Day Big E anymore. He's serious now. All right, guys, he's serious.
And the way to make him serious is by turning into a heel.
Gimmick.
But they don't want to because they can't sell New Day merch then.
Then they can't sell the merch. So
turn him into a heel. No.
He's so like they're in this weird spot where he's like a baby face. Yeah, in a way, but he's more charismatic as the Roman.
No, I know he has a personality, but he hasn't been force-fed down our throats yet.
Yeah, it's just he's a baby face for the sake of being a baby face, but then there's still like, but he takes things seriously now.
See, and he's not cringy like Drew is too, so I really don't think people are going to turn on him.
Did he have a gimmick with Apollo where he was getting kicked in the nuts for like a few months? Like, wasn't that a thing where they were low-blowing each other, right? Something like that?
Was it? I don't even remember that.
I don't think so.
I don't
remember that. I remember the Nigerian drum match, obviously.
Yeah, that was the debut of Commander Aziz. No, Big E. What I think is going to happen is Big E's going to eventually cash in, maybe January, February. Going to be a failed cash.
Do you think he cashes in ahead of time?
Yeah, ahead of WrestleMania. You mean?
Oh, to schedule a match?
No.
Like scheduling, like how Cena did, did with Punk, where he was like, "I'm cashing in on this time."
I thought about that, and then I thought of what I'm saying now, and it's that he's gonna cash in on Roman. It's gonna end disqualification with Usos, whatever and whatnot, and then he'll just get his one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I really just think that's the way they're gonna go with it.
You think that's the Mania match?
I think that's the Mania match. I don't think Brock comes around. I think that's the Mania match. I do think, and then like, you know, Big E obviously lost the briefcase because he lost by disqualification or whatever or whatnot, or won by disqualification. And then I think that's when you get Big E's crowning moment at WrestleMania. And Roman's holding the belt till then. I don't think Roman's losing it till then. Then that's where I'm going with that.
That's over a year plus then at that point.
Hey, I don't want him to lose it. I don't want him to lose it right now. Yeah.
I had a bowl of Bootios last night.
How was that?
I had to crack it open for Big E.
Oh, baby, ate some booty for Big E.
They were solid. It was a cool ending. I like Big E. He's been around a while. He's a good character, but he always puts on a good show. Drew McIntyre too. That guy was cool.
He's a tank. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how he lost.
I'm glad he didn't get booed because he did hold the belt for a while, and you know how fickle the fans get when, you know, things don't change and all that, and they start booing, like when they booed Rollins, started booing Rollins and started booing whoever held the title at the time. And I'm glad he got a cheers because he deserves it after doing what he did. But no, this was a great match. This was a really, really fun match, and we have under 10 minutes left, so let's get right into the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus Edge, and Roman retained. How do we feel about this match? I thought it was phenomenal.
I thought it was a really good match. I have no complaints about it. It went a little long, but it didn't ever feel like it was like dragging.
Those are Edge matches now, man.
Edge goes long.
I'm surprised that he has the stamina.
It's because he doesn't do like as many spots as he used to. Like they did the outside the boundaries and everything.
Yeah, and that was towards the end.
It's mostly just like Edge matches are where like they go like 10 to 15 minutes of just wearing each other down. So then Edge can do like 5 to 6 moves and get pops from them. So while they're longer matches, he is kind of exerting less energy, or at least putting himself in less risk long term.
And plus, obviously, he doesn't do weekly shows. Hasn't been house shows, and you know, back in 2010 and before that, you know.
But I saw the advertisement for it that WWE Live is coming back.
Yeah.
So use WWE Live only for people who aren't utilized enough.
I agree.
Use that for Ricochet. Use that for Owen, Zayn, Ziggler, like guys that can put on good matches, but don't actually get the TV time. Because again, I've said it before, we're going to see injuries come back up again harder than they were during the COVID era, because it's the being on the road 330 days a year is what injures these guys.
Yeah, but the big thing after the match was, of course, John Cena coming back.
There you
so
go.
That's setting up our WrestleMania match. Not WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
It was a phenomenal return.
I hope it would Mania.
It'd be great for Mania. Especially both of them out in LA. It's in LA. That's yours at Dallas.
I thought it's Vegas.
No, that's SummerSlam.
It's in Dallas. Dallas. Or LA. I don't know. Something.
Screw it.
A city.
It's going to be SummerSlam, so it doesn't matter.
Before even Cena came back, we have to acknowledge that during the match, Seth Rollins came out.
Hell yeah.
Kind of, for the most part, cost Edge the match. And then Edge
Mania 38's in Dallas.
There you go. Dallas. And then it kind of cost Edge the match, and you know that's leading to that match, and Edge and him brawled after. And then
that means we'll get Rollins and Edge at SummerSlam, probably in a stipulation of some
Edge
sort.
Edge versus Mr. SummerSlam.
There you go.
Love it.
Great
Seth
match.
always has incredible SummerSlam matches.
He does. Whether it was against the one with Cena is one of my favorites when he won the
Cena, Balor.
Yeah. Mysterio last year.
He fought AJ one year. AJ.
Yeah.
I thought him and AJ was SummerSlam. Yeah.
Wow.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, that's when Seth was Universal Champ, right? Yeah. Okay.
And when AJ caught him in the Hurricanrana and did the Styles Clash, that's what that's from.
But then, as Justin alluded to, right after the match ended too, Roman grabs the mic and says, "The whole world can acknowledge me now." And then you hear the music, you hear the fans pop, you hear Michael Cole going crazy, and Pat McAfee saying, "Where?" when he said, "That's John Cena." Underrated call tonight by Pat McAfee there. But no, Cena's back. He was hyped to be back. came in the ring, did the "You Can't See Me" to Roman, and it's obviously setting up Cena versus Roman Reigns for SummerSlam.
Is this the first time they fought, Cena and Roman?
They did a bad one in at No Mercy 2016, 17.
It was a long time ago.
It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
17.
It was the passing of the torch way before Roman was actually like the biggest thing in the company.
And people liked him.
Yeah. But no, I know you guys love this already, but I'll start with Jesse, of course, on this one. And how excited are you to have Cena back?
I screamed like a girl when Cena's music hit. Oh my God. I love that man so much. I convinced myself he wasn't coming because I was like, he's too busy. He's too busy of a man. He doesn't have time to just end a pay-per-view. He's not going to waste his time just coming to a pay-per-view. But he did it. And I love him. I love him so much. And Roman's probably going to rip him apart. I do have this idea where either their match ends in a DQ or Cena wins and then like Big E cashes in or something, and somehow we get Cena Roman again at Mania.
So that means then
that feels like such a Mania match.
If Cena won, then he would get 17.
You're right. You're 100% right. I was going to say that.
And he would get it over Roman, which is even more of a thing to say he's the best of all time. Big E wins. He beats Cena, which automatically obviously puts him over. And then Roman can win the belt back. Roman does his thing till Mania, and John comes back and is just like, buddy, you never beat me. You didn't beat me. I'm the best of all time.
That could be a thing. But I wanted to bring up Roman making Cena tap out. I think that's the way to go. Cena's, he's done. He's almost done. He's a part-timer. He's shows
a Fast
up here
and Furious star.
Exactly. He's Dom's brother. Family.
I don't know if this is Cena's last run.
I know, but
thing too.
Just tap out he won't hurt Cena. It won't hurt Cena.
No. It won't hurt Cena at all. But the thing is, like, I don't know if this is his last ever run at the championship or what they're doing, because if you just watched his thing after they put on the Twitter when he was talking to all the fans and everything, he seemed like so excited to be back. And it's not like a thing of The Rock where I feel like he's like, oh yeah, I'm excited to be back, promote my movie. I feel like Cena like genuinely really enjoys being back in WWE and really enjoys being a part of it.
Yeah, well, that does it for the pay-per-view. And let's just quickly, before I end with our predictions. And we're back on track. Justin lost, so the world is getting back to normal little by little.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesse won his 10th pay-per-view of the year.
There have been 11 pay-per-views of the year.
That is true. And we tied, so I won my 6th, and Justin stays at 3. I need a rating out. I need a rating. All of us can give a rating out of 10 on what you guys rate this pay-per-view before we wrap it up. I'm
because
a 9.
Oh, okay. Cool. I was going to go 8 just because of the Peacock connection kind of killed it, and the women's match was lackluster.
8.25 for me. Women's match needed to be a little bit better. Peacock needed to be better.
Steve?
8.47. Okay. Just because of the kind of the slow fights in the beginning, and the end really picked it up.
All right. Well, that's probably our highest rated pay-per-view of the year, so that's great. But thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Sports Department Podcast. We appreciate it. Joe appreciates it as well. So make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow us on our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. We have NFL episodes coming back. We're going to be breaking down division by division. So that's going to be fun. The finals are starting to wrap up soon. So we're going to do a breakdown on that. For the trade deadline's coming up in the MLB. So maybe we'll do a predictions episode, or break down where all the people go if there's a lot of moves and whatnot. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.